In life, there are two things that go together perfectly, a greasy burger and playing your favorite game. So what happens when you combine these things today?
Corporate greed?
I think you mean fun collaborations. And while most of us know how that ends up in the current day and age, Shadow the Hedgehog themed pancakes weren't always the answer. Today, we're going to take a journey down memory lane and to see how fast food gaming collabs have evolved over the years to what it is today. Before we talk about anything recent, we need to go back in time a little bit with one of the most memorable collaborations between two giants. In 1999, people loved Pokemon. And not only that, they loved Pokemon cards. But what would make these pieces of cardboard even more enticing, you might be thinking to yourself. Then, in an act of brilliance, Nintendo answered this question by covering them in gold. At least that was the idea. Nintendo has never been a stranger to collaborations, and once they decided it was time to take over American fast food, Burger King became their target.
Too bad, because their chicken fries taste like bland fried cardboard sticks now.
True, but to give them credit, Burger King has had a number of interesting gaming collaborations, which include Pokemon. The gold-plated Pokemon cards, however, were definitely one of my personal favorites growing up. These 23-karat gold-plated metallic cards came in a plastic Pokeball toy and featured Charizard, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Poliwhirl, and Togepi. The Pokeball was just this metallic-looking case that opened up by pressing the center button. What most kids didn't care about was actually what made these things pretty cool, which was the inclusion of a certificate of authenticity signed by one of the former big chairman himself, Nintendo's Howard Lincoln. These Pokeball containers are actually the second version. The first version, which had figures instead of gold cards, came apart into two pieces, but were recalled due to suffocation accidents. Burger King reluctantly, out of the kindness of their hearts, would offer something to the family who bought the toys though, which ended up being a bag of small fries.
No thanks. I think I'd rather suffocate.
Nintendo weren't the only ones trying to get into weird fast food marketing ads, because next on our list includes two of the biggest mascots of the early 2000s, Spyro and Crash. In 2005, McDonald's gave away one of their special handheld gaming consoles with little themed minigames. There were about 8 in total, which I'm too lazy to list off myself, so...
Crash Bandicoot Kart Racing, Spyro Fire, Crash Bandicoot Space Battle, Spyro Dark Blue, Crash Bandicoot Dance Show-Off, Spyro Ice, Crash Bandicoot Water Ski, Spyro Green.
They did Spyro dirty in this, if you can't tell, because why does Crash get all the cool names, but Spyro gets dark blue and green? I mean, what is that even supposed to imply? Everything about these things were pretty simple, probably because they were for kids. There's also not a lot of information online that I could find. Thankfully, playthrough videos exist, which is what you're seeing right now in the background. You just pop it open, ignore the instructions at the top, and play the game. All 8 cartridges looked pretty unique, and were either purple or orange depending on if you got Spyro or Crash themed games. The mini-games themselves were kind of like Game & Watch style, and they had pretty easy objectives like collecting gems or just riding a cart. Despite that though, overall I think these were pretty unique, because it wasn't a generic figure or Beanie Baby like most toys were. Also, if you're like me, you can find these on eBay to help chase your fleeting childhood wonder. Years later, gaming companies realized that not only could they target kids with their marketing, but also teenagers and adults as well. This means around the early 2000s onward, you couldn't walk down the snack aisle without seeing Master Chief slapped on a bag of Doritos. One of the first companies to do this at a large scale was PepsiCo and their creation of Mountain Dew Game Fuel. I know this isn't exactly fast food, but you could get this at places like Arby's, so I'm going to include it anyways. They used Game Fuel to advertise one of the best games of all time, Halo 3. But it was simply just the packaging and flavor that were different. It wasn't until later that PepsiCo started adding things like double XP codes for games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I think that this was kind of a defining moment for these companies because it showed that they could tap into an older market and avoid the cost of making something physical while driving people to spend more time playing games. You can see this change happening alongside gaming from becoming more digital than physical in general, which we can talk about in another video. But it's important to note this because it affected fast food collaborations just as much.
Enough of these Happy Meal kids toys. What about something a bit more modern? A bit more for the new digital age we live in. I present to you McDonald's X Overwatch 2. Yes, that's right, you get a Tracer skin redeemable in-game.
Okay, I don't have to be the one here telling you that obviously this skin is pretty fucking ugly. But that's not even the worst part. This skin isn't even exclusive. It was already available and would occasionally show up in the rotating skin store. Just imagine how much better it would have been to see her in a Fry Cook skin. It would have been amazing.
Or even a Roadhog skin to, represent their customers.
A company that did do it right, though, was an American favorite, Kentucky Fried Chicken, who in 2023 collaborated with PUBG. Not only did you get a skin to roleplay as a KFC employee, but they actually added KFC into the map. Even though I haven't played PUBG in a while, you can at least respect that they put a little more time and effort into it instead of just slapping on a random non-exclusive low-tier skin to a nugget meal. I also want to point out here that Kentucky Fried Chicken is not only at the top of the collaboration game, but has their own gaming Twitter, dating simulator, and gaming console that keeps your chicken nice and warm. Okay, the last one actually never happened, but it was a good marketing scheme. While code redeems like this are not physical items, I think players can appreciate digital items as opposed to things just sitting on their shelf or in a cardboard box in the closet. Look, I'm not here to defend corporate greed, but it makes sense that campaigns turn to digital redeems over time. Not only do you avoid getting sued for choking hazards, but it's infinitely cheaper to unlock a skin on someone's account than to spend time making a tracer figure in 24-karat gold plating, or to make a mini PUBG shooting handheld game. It seems like overseas fast food companies have just as many, if not more, collabs, and one of the most noticeable and recent being the KFC and Genshin Impact collab. I know you've probably already heard of this. This collab was supposed to be pretty huge. You could get things like a glider skin, custom recipe, stickers, and pins by buying a Genshin branded chicken meal. Also, apparently to get certain pins themed around certain characters, you had to go to one of the employees and shout something along the lines of, which is just ridiculous. Eventually, though, this event was canceled by the Chinese government due to overwhelming demand. They stated that they were still trying to curb COVID cases. It looks like Genshin is trying again with McDonald's this year, so if you go, please tell me how it goes in the comments. I would be very interested. I kind of like the combination of having physical and digital goods. You can get the best of both worlds, and it seems like there's a lot of room for both collaboration types to improve as companies learn to take the best way to take market new games to us. Thanks for watching, and thank you to my Patreons this month, GeoVixie, ENSDS, and Legion Darkness. If you want to see behind-the-scenes script writing, vote on video ideas, get custom soundtracks, and more, click on the link in the description.
Hi, I'm Pinoy Nox Editor, and usually I like to play an audio clip from the video here with reverb as a sign-off, which I definitely did not rip off from Cow Chop, but unfortunately Mr. Puss couldn't write 2 more sentences to the script, and Lord knows we need those mid-rolls. Those pennies add up, and I could use a Genshin Impact 6-piece chicken McNugget meal right about now.